Hey everyone, thank you for coming out to Crypto City. Hope you had a good week last week for Memorial Day. I'm your host, CityGirl, and tonight we are here with the Princess of the Metaverse, also known as Afrikanprinsis. Welcome. Thank you for coming out.
Hey, thank you for having me, City Girl.
It's so good to have you here. I've known you for so long here in the Metaverse from back in the alt space days.
Yes.
You made quite a name for yourself over there. So glad to see that you stayed around to other platforms when alt space sunsetted. Um, but your profile lists you as a metaverse world designer, a tour guide, and a VR event host, an interior designer, and a community helper. I mean, you've been doing so much in here. But was there life before VR for you? What was it like before you came into VR? What were you doing that inspired you?
Yes, definitely a lot of life before VR. So before VR, my full-time career, and it's still my full-time career. I am an artist, so I'm a sculptor and I design jewelry full-time. I'm a handmade artist and
Wow.
I just design jewelry, and I've been doing that since since 2008. I do a lot of art shows around the Bay Area and San Francisco. So we have a crafting group called San Francisco Etsy where we go around different parts of the Bay Area and we do large events, large shows, and it's very well known in the area that we're in. So it's been really, really fun career doing that, and that's like my very first love. And I'm still doing that too. So simultaneously running my virtual business as well as my jewelry business. So yes, that was my life
Love it.
before I got into the tech business.
That's
So
so
how
great. You're
yeah,
creative.
I'm an artist. So with tech and with
Mhm.
real art and jewelry, clay, sculpting, and all the good stuff. I love art all the way around.
Nice. So what actually made you take that leap from doing something so physically creative to jumping into virtual world?
Okay, so that's actually a good question because I actually got into virtual reality because I wanted to bring my real life business into the metaverse. When COVID hit, see, I was already playing in the metaverse before, COVID hit. Like I was just playing games, running around Oculus, just playing different types of, uh, you know, fighting games, shooting games,
Yeah.
just playing around. But I was like, you know what? How can I bring my real life love into my second love, which is tech and gaming, and implement both of them in the same universe. Also, since we couldn't do art shows anymore, I was thinking like, how can I bring people to the metaverse and visit my store virtually? Is there a possibility? So
Mm.
I went into Altspace and was looking around and start seeing like, oh, look, you can bring in custom worlds, custom, spaces and make them your own. So I was thinking like, I wonder if I could make a boutique and bring it in and have my jewelry in there and, have shows and art shows and bring my real life art community inside the metaverse and do crafts conventions and shows there too. So that's what I did. I
I
came and
love it.
I, yes, I found Artsy. She was the first one to come and show me how to bring it in. She helped me bring it in. Like she was such a pivotal person in my tech career in the beginning. She showed me how to do everything. She created and helped me build my boutique, and it just was such a beautiful experience. When I first walked in the door, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I actually brought in my real life business into the metaverse." It was such a beautiful experience.
It's funny that you mentioned Artsy because a lot of people that have been on the show and a lot of people here in the metaverse have had a very positive impact in their lives from the stuff that she does
Mhm.
because
Yes.
she learned things and she loved to share how with other people.
Yes.
She's a good teacher. And she did something similar to what you're saying. She brought in her
Right.
doll houses she was doing into here. So a lot of times
Yes.
people have something in real life that they want to share with the metaverse, or share with others when, like you mentioned, COVID being a big
Mhm.
impact on how you can get your your designs, your product out into the hands of people if you can't be with them. Well, the only real way to do
Mhm.
that is online. So you
Exactly.
took that to the next step further by saying, okay, and not only am I going to bring it online, not on a website, but in something where they can actually get together and look at it and have that
Mhm.
feel like they're in a gallery.
Exactly. Right. And I don't want to say I'm not for sure, but I didn't see anybody else doing it either. So it was a very scary territory to embark on. I was like, oh my God, nobody else is doing this. So I'm like thinking like, I hope that this is something that, is going to be well received in the community. So when I did it, I believe I was the first boutique. I don't want to, don't quote me on that. But as far as I know, I was the first one to do it. And so it was very, a very great learning experience and helped me put my foot into the door, learning about business and technology and the metaverse and bringing, products into the business. So that was my very first experience of learning VR and getting my feet wet.
Nice. So you've been well traveled in the metaverse, though. I mean, you're quite comfortable on multiple platforms. But in the beginning, you come into VR and you play in games and everything. Was your first social experience, was it Altspace, VR chat, Second Life? What was it?
Okay, so good question. My first social experience, you're gonna laugh. It was actually a rec room. I was playing Rec Room. Was the first one. I got in, and oh my God, those kids were so mean. I remember getting in, and
Yes,
they're like, they're so mean to
they're
people.
terrible.
Yes, and so they were like, they were making fun of me, like, why are you here playing with, like, it was really, really funny, but I, kept playing in it anyway because the games were just so fun. They had bowling in there and, they had all these type of like, um, shooting games and like just puzzles. It was just really fun. So I really enjoyed that. And then one of the mean kids told me, he's like, you know what, you probably would be better in off space. That's where all the old people are.
Oh my God.
And so, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it out and see. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy those kids were mean to me and told me to go to off space because if I never went to off space, I
Right?
probably would have
Oh my
never
God.
discovered it. And I'm so glad because there's no kids in off space. So yes, I was at the right spot. They were right.
Yes, that was one thing Altspace did correctly. No children. Great.
I mean, when I first got into off space, when we were robots, that was a long, long time ago. There were kids there, but
Mm,
it wasn't as many. And as
yes.
soon as they got over there, the kids realized like, oh, this is a place just for like boring events and stuff. There's no fun games going on. This is when off space was just the campfire, and like they had the
Yes.
campfire and just like maybe one or two other worlds. It was very simple. So kids did not like that at all.
They didn't
So,
realize that the adults could be so creative
right,
because look what we turned
right.
Altspace into by the end, you
Look
know?
what we did. Yes. If it wasn't for the creators, to come in there like artsy, like us to come in there and turn it into what it was, all space, yeah, it would have been so boring.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So like during your early travels, is this where you came across someone who would end up becoming a very important part of your life? I think he's here in the audience right
Yeah,
now.
yes.
We have
Exactly. Yes,
King.
yes, I did. I did find love in the metaverse, which was very surprising. Like I never thought that I would, oh, let me get back in my chair. I never thought that I would find, I wasn't searching for anything like that. I was in there for business,
Mhm.
and then I started discovering friendships. I started making a lot of friends, um, just just cultivating new relationships, business relationships, friendships, and I found someone that I really latched onto. We had a lot of fun. Like we went to dates inside the metaverse. We went to different platforms, not just Altspace, and explored and played, contractors, Echo VR. Like we had a lot of fun, and it just blossomed to something, that was unexpected and very, very beautiful.
I love that. That's so great. And so King's also a world builder, like yourself.
Hmm.
So is it safe to say that your venture into world building stemmed from your relationship? Like you had a mentor and a friend that
Yes.
you could share this with as well?
Yes, yes. So definitely King was the one who started the whole world building, concept. I just came in and was like, you know what, this is really fun. And, he showed me everything that he learned and he taught me. He's a very good teacher, very, very good teacher. I wish he would teach a class because he's so good at showing and teaching and like he's very patient. Because I ask a lot of questions. I was like, well, what about this? Or how do
Mm.
I do that? And then like the next day I forget it all and he just like he shows me all over again. He's very, very patient. And
Been
so
there, been there.
yes, he started it and I took he's very good at building and I'm very good at designing. So, you know, I would show
You
him
complement each other.
ideas, yes, definitely. So I would show him ideas I had and designs I had, like, let's build this together. Like, I like this idea. And he'll put his own little spin, his own little flavor on it. And then we just come together and then we just build these wonderful worlds that we could, have these lovely experiences in and share them with our friends. So that's how it all got started.
I love that because I remember when you came, well, when I came on Altspace and I met you there and Ryuzaki was, the well-known VR clothing designer from Japan.
Hmm.
He was already like turning out clothing with a waiting list. And I remember one of my first interactions with you was that you were having a party at your beach house
Oh,
that you
yeah.
and King had, and you were having a swimsuit competition, and I couldn't wait to go get my swimsuit so I could come. And if I remember correctly, you had, quite a few of those little swimsuit contests at your party. I mean, parties at your
Yes.
house. So from early on, not only were you building in the community, but you were also bringing entertainment and some friendly competition within the community to bring people together.
Yes, yes. So that was so fun. I remember those days. Yes. So that beach house was actually one of our first builds. Like that was our very one of our first very popular builds, I should say. Um, what made it so fun was that we had event like different contests. It was very interactable. You could go on top of the waterfall and jump off. We had jet skis. We had beach balls. We had the bar. We had all the tools, all the games, all the things you can think of. The music, of course. We always had the music popping. DJ Soto
Mhm.
would sometimes come in there and spin live for us. That was so fun. It was just a fun experience. And who doesn't like a nice beach party? So of course
Of
that
course.
became very popular really fast, so, you know, um, and then with Ryu and his swimsuit, like it just came all together just so perfectly, and just brought a very fun experience and the community together. And I love that. I love doing the beach parties and having fun with my friends and meeting new people. That was such a beautiful time in all space. I
Now,
loved it.
all these things that you were doing, bringing in your business and building world, the interactable things that you talked about just now at your party and stuff. So how did this, learning the software? I mean, obviously, if you were doing it in Altspace, you had to use Unity. There's other software programs out there. So this whole experience of learning alongside King, were you taking classes? Were you just taught by him? Were you self-teaching yourself certain things, like for instance, how to integrate these interactables, the MREs and all that stuff
Hmm.
within your world?
Hmm. So most of what I've learned was from King. King was my main teacher, and we learned a lot from, of course, a lot of, I mean, hours of YouTube, like all day long. All we would be on YouTube all the
Mm-hmm.
time, learning. I did purchase some classes to learn as well about Unity and Blender. Unity was our main source that we
Mm-hmm.
built off of, and then we learned Blender. So both of those combine and we create our worlds with both Unity and Blender. So that's how we learn, was mostly self-taught, and a lot of when you're world building is a lot of trial and error. You're gonna have to get in there and build, make mistakes, mess up. Like it's so many, like nothing. I don't think any of our worlds have been like easily made. We just make it and then upload it and that's it. No, it's always, hours and hours of like figuring out like this is going to fit there. This lighting is going to be, right in this environment. Is this chair too big or this too small? We have to get everything just right. It's really, it's a lot that goes into it. It's not that simple. So it takes a lot of patience. But, I've had fun on the journey and I'm glad that I have a patient teacher here, King, to show me you know, how to keep going and never give up and just, make these worlds good and fun and, bring them in here and so everybody can enjoy.
Now, you kind of mentioned a minute ago that you wish that King would throw a class. Do you think that that's something that the two
Yes.
of you might do? You
Yes.
could even do it collaboratively to, help people who are newer into, maybe diving in, especially now that like Altspace was, I'm not going to say that Altspace was easy. Altspace was um, a easier platform to
Mhm.
bring everything into than some of these other
Mhm.
platforms. Would
Mhm.
you ever host a class or some sort of a course where people could come in and learn basics of Unity or
Right.
basics of Blender so that they could go in and play around a little bit and see if they want to dive deeper and come back into here and do stuff? I mean, a lot of us I know when Altspace, when I first went in, they gave you that silly little world of your own and here's a kit and you can go in and place things in and everybody kind of loved the
Yeah.
interactability on it. In Spatial, we have Sketchfab. We can bring in certain items, but those items are very limited and in their interactability. So it would be great if more people knew how to do more in these other programs. And I know some
Mhm.
people are dived straight in, and you've got the artsies and obviously the two of you. Um,
Mhm.
and other people like DJ Marcus, who has gone from learning all the basics on his own while he was over in Altspace to jumping in and now doing both VR chat and Unity. But a class from you guys would be great for the masses.
Right. Yes. So I'm glad you asked that because we are actually putting in something together, future courses
Ooh,
to
that's
help,
so exciting.
very, very basic beginners, courses. 'Cause I get a lot of questions. We get a lot of questions all the time. Like, how do you build a basic house? Or how do you make money in the metaverse? All these things. And it's just like, we decided that we should come together and bring something like some type of course, some type of, documentation that help people get started in the metaverse. Because, I remember when we first got started, we didn't have any guides, we didn't have any courses, it was like we had to just look all around the internet and find and things and put it all together and piece it together. It took years of doing this. We've been doing
Mm.
this since before the pandemic. So it's been a long time and lots of research, you know, uh, coming together to learn what we learn now. So yes, if there was a course or somewhere where someone can just go and get everything all together in one spot, it would be amazing. And I would love to help the community with that. So we are definitely
That
working
would be
on
great.
becoming like making a course for the community to help them learn the metaverse, world building, and navigating making money in the metaverse as well.
Oh, absolutely. This is so good to hear. When you guys get this ready to go, please let us know. We'll promote it for you. I would love. See, this show was designed to get people to learn how people are doing things in here and how to do some of the basics and how to navigate all of the cryptography of Web3 and AI, all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
we need basic courses to get people to understand 101 before you can't get to here without starting here.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's so
this is
true.
exactly what we want. Perfect.
Right. That's so true. Yes. And that's where
So
I got into this to help the community. Like that's one of my favorite things. Like when I in off space, I don't know if you remember, but they had a program, community helper program, you
yes.
know, and I really took that job seriously. Like, yes, I remember getting in and I was like, oh, I'm going to go around, go to the campfire and get all the new people and show them, like I would take them around and show them around, off space and show them how to use their controls and stuff. Like that was really, really, fun for me and really, I love helping people. So this is something that's near and dear to my heart, and I really would like to do for the community. So I will definitely let you know. You'll be the first one to know when I
That'd be
finish it, when I
great.
complete it.
'Cause I really feel like our audience would love that.
Hmm.
And I also think that, personally, I would love that. I would love to come in and I love to listen to people share with you hands-on experiences because you can, we always talk about go on YouTube, go online, search for
Hmm.
things. I feel like a lot of the time when you're just reading text, it's super
Hmm.
hard to understand
It
because you're not
is.
getting the visual. When you watch people on YouTube and you're seeing it happen on the screen, it's obviously much easier with everything in life. But to talk to
Right.
somebody and have you demonstrate
Hmm.
physically in front of us so that we can stop you real time and unlike a YouTube video and say, wait, 1 second. When you clicked on that, why did this happen? To be able to
Hmm.
interact is so important because what you take for granted when you're clicking on something and doing it, the person in the audience is going, I don't understand what just happened. Like,
Right,
so
right.
you miss something there. It's much easier when somebody's giving you direct attention.
I agree. I agree. Hands-on is the best way to learn. And,
Mm.
a lot of people are, it's a lot of different types of learners. Like, you have the visual learners and people who, need to learn in different other ways. So when we create that, I'm definitely going to keep that in mind, the different types of ways people learn and offer different platforms as far as like an ebook or a virtual
Oh, that's a
course
great idea.
or in
Hmm.
person, different types of ways. So it wouldn't just be one, it won't be just one type of um, way to present it. It'll be different styles for everyone to learn.
Nice. That's a great idea. I absolutely love it. I can't wait. Um, so now you were just talking about how in alt space when people would come in and you would take them around and try to, be a community helper to them and give them the initial initiation into alt space, so to
Yes.
speak. But you also like when alt space mentioned they were shutting down, I remember you talking about bringing people around to other platforms so that they could check them out as well. Did you end up doing world tours, outside of alt space, bringing people to test out other things?
Oh yes, I did. Actually, me and Armani, we collabed. I don't know if
Oh,
you remember
nice.
Armani.
Of
Yes,
course,
we
yeah.
did a couple of world tours where we went into spatial, VR chat. I think we even went to Rec Room, Horizons. We just explored different parts of the social metaverse. And that was very fun because a lot of people at the time weren't aware of, spatial. They weren't familiar with how VR chat worked. They were just strictly just off spacers. So it helped, I felt like before we completely shut down all space, it helped those people kind of transition into those new spaces without it being so scary, by themselves. Because we had a group of us,
Hmm.
and it was really, really fun. And I really enjoyed that. And we're actually continuing on. We're going to continue doing more world tours. We got one coming up in the middle of this month. I'll post
Nice.
details of that on my page. So we're going to continue doing world tours. So we're not stopping. Just because off space closed doesn't mean we're going to, stop. We're going to continue world tours all over the metaverse, not just one
Love
platform.
it. Nice. For any of you who do not already follow, it's African Princess VR on Instagram,
Hmm.
right? That's where you put most of
Right.
your stuff.
Right. That's African Princess spelled AFRIANPRINSIS. It's spelled untraditional, not like a regular African princess. It's spelled different. Have to
So
clarify
definitely go
that.
on and check out her Instagram page because that's where I saw a lot of the things you were posting back in the day when you were having parties and different things within VR.
Hmm.
Do you, from just a personal perspective, when you were going around and you were checking out all of these other platforms, did you have ones that you preferred over others and why?
Um, the well, of course, Allspace was always my favorite. My second favorite would be I would say see, so spatial and VR chat is kind of neck and neck for me, only because I love spatial for my virtual business, for my clients, because I love that it's mobile. That's like the
Mm.
biggest, like, that was the main seller for me, that it was mobile. I can like go anywhere in the metaverse on my phone and my computer. I really love that. So I really love spatial for those features. VR chat, I love it for socializing for my with my friends, hanging out with my, family. doing events, with
Mm.
the community in VR chat. So those two are my favorite. Of course, Rec Room too. That's always been since that was my first, love of social interactions in the metaverse. I'm always going to love Rec Room, even though it's for kids and not for old people, like they say.
It's it's not for kids. There's
I
a
know,
lot going
right?
on over there. I mean, actually, Kristen from Altspace, who is now with Trip, she went over there and she does her meditation classes in there because she just
Right.
feels like it's a easier platform to work in.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And that's kind of why I asked you too, because I chose Spatial because it had certain event hosting tools like putting up slideshows and things like that you don't have in
Mm-hmm.
VR,
Mm-hmm.
VR chat. VR chat though is my favorite one to go in and just chill and have fun and relax and play
Mm-hmm.
games and just have a good time. Rec Room, we've gone over there. We've gotten groups of people together and gone over and played paintball. It's a blast over there.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I love it.
There's a
Right.
lot of good games.
It is, and it's not just for you, right? It's not. This is a joke, Of course, it's for
I know.
everyone. They're actually a Facebook page that I'm a part of. It's a group page called Adults Who Play Rec Room, and
Oh,
we
okay.
actually have a clubhouse in there that we go, and it's just all adults, and we all can come together once a week, and we go and explore and play games together. Just adults only, no kids.
That's so cool. Okay.
So yeah,
Now, see,
it's really fun.
that's a good thing. People get together and they
Hmm.
make it better. VR chat,
Exactly.
same thing. The first time everybody went into VR chat, they were like, what are all these kids running around? What is this? It's awful. And everybody left
Right.
VR chat until people started to realize you could go in and make private instances and
Hmm.
have your own people in there and not have to be. But if you wanted to go in and make friends, plenty of public worlds to jump in and see if you could find an adult to hang out with.
Exactly. I love that feature. The private instance feature is like one of the best things VR chat came up with because that's really helpful.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Hmm.
Now let's call it interior design work in VR. Um,
Hmm.
is this strictly for the worlds that you build or can people hire you to, they have say, I wanted to do something inside my world. Can you come and help
Hmm.
out and do interior work inside?
Yeah, so I've been contracted. You can contract me to do interior design for any world or any space. Um, I can do, pretty much any location, any platform, I can design. So it's not just strictly for my own business. I do others as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's open to the public.
So, and people who want to hire you, whether it's to do that work or to maybe to build them a world and, collaboratively do all of it, how would they
Hmm.
reach out to you?
Yeah, so you can contact me on my link tree. It's going to
Okay.
be on my Instagram, on my Facebook page, African Princess VR. All my links are there. And what you're going to do is it's going to send you a form and it's going to ask you a few questions about your style, your budget, and the project completion dates that you would like to have it done by. And then you just fill out those forms and then I'll respond to you as soon as I get a chance. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm
So
available
we'll
to do that
post that
all.
too.
Yes, yes, definitely. The links are all on my social media pages where you can find all the information there.
Okay. When we put this video up, I will make sure that it's in the description of the video as well. I'll put your link tree in there so people can have easy access to find you. So
Perfect. Thank you.
taking a little bit of a right turn here, what are your thoughts on all of like AI right now? So obviously AI is being used on a lot of different things, whether it is, music or artwork and stuff like that. But what are your thoughts on AI in the grander scheme? Right now
Mm.
there's talks about the hallucination factor of, all the AI bots coming together to put, their thoughts together and people following what AI says too closely and maybe it's not always 100% accurate.
Oh wow, I don't think I've heard of that one yet. But as far as AI, that's kind of scary actually. But I'm a futurist, so I'm all for the advancement of technology. I'm not scared. Everyone always says, oh, the AI is going to get too smart and too strong and then, become like, Terminator and stuff. I don't believe that will happen. I think that's just a natural progression of technology and human
Mhm.
development. I believe that this is what we need in order for us to advance as human beings. It's just a part of the natural evolution of things. I'm very excited for the future of AI. I love, all the new programs that are coming out now with the mid journeys and the chat GPTs and all that beautiful stuff. Like, I just love everything about it. And, I'm a big fan of it and I'm following it very closely and trying to keep up with the trends, because I want to be a part of the future and I don't want to be left behind. I want to be right there, learning and growing and applying AI to my own life and to my own businesses too. So
Mm.
it's going to be a part of me and a part of my business. AI is like we're neck and neck here. I love it.
I love to hear that. It's funny. In my full time real world job, I am constantly now getting a lot of AI seminar type things coming through because a lot of what I do involves HR and legal and things like that. So they're sending a lot of things for us to listen to the webinars and pay attention to how AI is going to start affecting as we move forward. And it's not like you said, I'm not scared. It's not scary. It's
Hmm.
exciting. And there
Yeah.
are certain things that, you need to be aware of and be conscious of to make sure that it's being
Right.
utilized properly. But at the same time, the amount of the distance that it's going to allow us to go it will expand us so far out of our little circle that we're usually in. And I would imagine with the design work that you do, you could even use AI in a creative way by saying, here's what I want to see an image of. And then it pops up and you fall in love with it. You actually go and create that image as part of a piece of furniture, or whether it's artwork on a wall or jewelry or any of the things that you're doing to be so creative. You could get some great stimulation and ideas from that, don't you think?
That's so funny you say that, City Girl, because that's exactly what I've been doing lately.
I
I've
love
actually
it.
been using AI to do exactly what you said. And a lot of the last few worlds that we created have been inspired by AI generated art. We put some of the AI generated art pieces inside of our worlds. You'll see in some of our worlds you go into, we like to put like an inspiration piece on
Okay.
our wall. And, we design everything else around that, the colors, the style, So that's one of our processes when we building our world. We use, future tech, AI, inspiration to help design our worlds.
That's amazing. See, and this is how all of these little bits and pieces of Web3 that we're talking about are all coming together and, making everything enhanced and better.
Right.
AI to me, when I first found out about it was, a while back and the first thing I said was, I can't wait to get in there and try it out. I can't wait to see it. And I went in and I played around a little bit on Chat GPT like everybody else. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. Then I started playing around with like Dolly and, the
Hmm.
AI art, and to be able to how many times have you gone into a store and said, I'd really like something like this, but I can't find exactly what I want? To be able to
Hmm.
sit there and tell exactly what you want and see different versions of it and be able to find something that might be it and then create it is amazing.
Right.
I love
That's
that.
so amazing. I love it. I've been so obsessed with that the last few months. It's been really, really fun to play around with. Have you discovered Midjourney yet?
I did sign up for the Discord server,
Discord?
and I
Hmm.
didn't get to play around with it too much yet, but it did look like the things I've seen that other people have created have blown my mind for
Hmm.
sure.
It's amazing. I love Midjourney. We can play around with that later on. I'll show you how show you around
Okay.
Midjourney, but it's really, really fun. Yes.
I love
I
that.
love
That would
it.
be great.
Hmm.
So are you planning on having, in spatial and maybe in VR chat, sort of a hub world so people can go and see, or even a gallery for people to go and see and check out all of your creations?
Yes, actually, we are working on a hub world where we can go and have all of everything we've created, even our, AI art, everything that encompasses us all together in one location, in spatial and in VR chat. So we'll have
Love
both
it.
locations with a hub world. Yep, so that is definitely coming soon. We were actually working on that in alt space before it shut down. So I was like, oh man, we have to pivot. So, but that's okay. We're just gonna bring it over here and make it bigger and better than ever.
Yeah. I love that you didn't let the sunset hold you back. You moved forward, but that
Definitely
you're
not.
also planning to do it across multiple platforms. And there's pretty much everybody who's in here has now ventured out and checked out all the different places that, the different main platforms. There's new ones popping up every day. Some of
Hmm.
them are in the headset, some of them are not. Check them all out. I went and checked out Cluster the other day. It's super cute. It's fun, I mean, it's not
Oh
something that
yes.
I'm going to spend a lot of time in right now,
Hmm.
but it was fun to check out. Have you seen it?
I've heard of Cluster. No, I haven't seen it. I heard of it through Facebook posts, and
Hmm.
I want to try it. I want to try them all out. Like I don't want to be limited in one space. Like we've learned that in all space, never put all your eggs in one basket. So I would love to try new, locations. That's just I'm just that's just what I love to do anyway. I love the metaverse. I love VR. So anytime I can find a new world to play around with, that's just fun for me.
Absolutely. No, I
Hmm.
agree with you. You don't want to, you're drifting away.
Uh oh. I'm back.
um,
There we
that's a spatial
go.
thing. So yeah, I do love all these different learning and checking out all these new platforms. You're right. Do not limit yourself. And the mobile aspect of spatial, definitely one of the key features of it. A lot of the
Mhm.
programs you can do both in headset and on PC, like VR chat. But the fact that in spatial you can do it on your phone. One of our regular guests who's not here right now, but she has actually been driving when we've had a show on, and she's just jumped on her phone and left it in her car so she could listen.
Oh,
So
see?
that's a feature that I'm hoping some of the other platforms will eventually migrate to. Yes, you do have limited capabilities. It's not as easy to move around. You're not as fully immersed as you are, but it is a pretty exciting feature to offer people.
Right. I think that's one of the best features of spatial is that it has the mobile ability. I think, did I hear something about VR chat going mobile maybe in the future? I'm not sure. Have you
It's in
heard?
the works. Hopefully,
It's in
we'll
the
get to see
works.
it
Okay.
sooner rather than later. Um,
Right. Yeah. If all
and
of these worlds come, all these metaverse platforms, if they all, went mobile, that will be a game changer for all of them. It will bring so many more people, so much, you know, experiences and more people to the metaverse. It won't just be limited to people who have headsets. So I think it's something that
mm,
all of these games should consider when they're creating, this metaverse is to make it mobile friendly so other people can experience the metaverse without having expensive headsets.
Agreed. I mean, we all saw, like, I mean, the new Apple headset came out. I mean, I
Oh
know
yes.
it's amazing. It's Apple. Everything Apple's amazing. It's also, you got to
Right.
mortgage your house to buy it. So, I mean, it's tough. It's
Yeah, I heard it's
tough.
like what, $3,600 or something like
Yeah,
that.
crazy astronomical. I
That's
mean,
ridiculous.
especially when you've got the Oculus at, like, a high end of like
Yeah,
$600. So, I mean, that's a big difference. But if you're a developer,
very
I can
big.
see maybe needing something but the cost is just so
Right.
high. I just don't, I can't see everybody running out and getting that either. So, we want to be able to make
Right.
things more user friendly, more availability to people so that they'll want to get
And
more into it.
accessible. Yeah, definitely.
Also for
I
you,
agree with that.
I would think it would be wonderful if you're out telling people, this is what I do, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here, let me show you on my phone.
Mhm. And that's why I love spatial because I can
It,
do that right there. I can just show them
mm,
exactly what I'm talking about, exactly what the world I just made. You can just go right in there and see it. You can just walk in there with your avatar and see it. So it's not just I don't have to just explain it anymore and like just with my voice and my just words, they can actually
yep.
go into the app and see it with their own eyes.
it's a different type of immersed, even though in here, like we're fully immersed if you're in the headset. This is allowing people see it before you receive it, make
Hmm.
all your changes, hey, I built your world. It's all set. Let's take a quick look right here while I'm with you. And this is, I love that. I love that it's more flexible.
Definitely, I agree with that.
So what are the future plans for you? What will we see in the next, say, 6 months to a year from African Princess?
Okay, so definitely what we talked about earlier. I plan on building those courses
Mm,
and getting, more immersed into the metaverse as far as, we're doing more touring, around the whole entire metaverse, not just social platforms. Um, we're going to be looking into more towards the holiday time. Um, I'm looking into building an event where we're doing a craft show, virtual craft show. What I used to do in my
nice.
real life and before I went into VR life, I used to host craft shows around the Bay Area, and I want to bring that into the metaverse. So you'll see more events from me in the craft area. I want to be hosting more classes in the virtual world. Um, and yeah, we're going to just continue to grow, build more worlds, build more experiences across all platforms, not just spatial, not just VR chat. Hopefully we can expand to Rec Room and Horizons. I'm still learning those platforms, we're just taking it day by day, but definitely before the end of the year, we should be in, if not all of the platforms. We want to be across all of them as much as we can. So, yeah, that's the
That's so
future.
exciting. I love it. I
Thank
love it.
you.
It's exciting. And everybody else, you follow along, and the courses are going to be super important. So I'm excited that you're going to have those.
Yes.
We will promote those when they come up for anybody who is interested. We'll put them on the Crypto City socials, and we'll make sure we mention them in here when you've got them scheduled so people can join in. And I'll be there. And, so I think that's super exciting, but I am happy to see that you are planning on doing some fun things as well, like your
Yes.
vendor fair, because you did always have great events when you had like your parties. I know, some of them were like birthday parties, some of them were the beach
Hmm.
parties. You are a great hostess, so I'm
Oh,
excited
thank
to
you.
come back to your parties as well.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes.
Of
And with the
course.
courses, if anybody has any, recommendations, like I don't want to just make things that I want to learn about. I also want to hear what the community wants to learn. So anybody who has suggestions on the course that you would like to hear or for me to create, feel free to send me a DM, message me and let me know like, hey, I would like to see this, or can you show me how to do this? And I'll be happy to create that for you or show you what I've learned so far in the metaverse.
Love it. I might be hitting you up for that.
Oh,
So
definitely. You can hit me up anytime, girl.
love it.
Uh,
So I thank you so much for coming on tonight, sharing all this with us. I've been a fan of yours since back in Alt Space. I'm
Oh,
really excited to see what comes next.
thank
And
you.
next week we are going to have a more of a. I'm not going to have a guest. We're going to have myself and Miggy, and we're going to be teaching you some more things. We're going to talk a little bit about Web3, crypto, NFTs, all of it combined again. I'm going to be giving you some resources as we're coming up almost to the season finale. Will be at the end of June. So I'm going to be giving you some resources to take away so that you can go and play a little bit more, kind of like we've done in the past with AI and a few other things. So you don't want to miss next week so that you can take some notes. We'll obviously have the video up and you'll be able to have some links. All the stuff I bring to you next week, I'll post the links for you as always. So thank you
Love
all for
it.
coming out on your Monday night. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you all.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for
Thank you for
coming.
coming. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.